I'm DC in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients are all throughout the United States, and we help them with all different types of immigration applications. So that could be employment-based applications where we're sponsoring people for helping companies sponsor people for visas like H-1Bs or green cards. We're also helping with investor visas and visas for extraordinary ability, green cards for that same category. Of course, one of our most common case types are humanitarian cases. We work with VAWA clients very often. And I want to start off today talking about VAWA. If you are just joining me for the first time, this is how it works. I usually start off with a question of the day, which is something that comes up in our practice, which is something that I think might be helpful to you. And I also will we'll answer questions that you guys might have that just on immigration generally. Of course, you know that everyone here, everything we're talking about, nothing is confidential since we have a lot of folks streaming from different platforms. So if you want to have a confidential consultation, you can certainly call our office or schedule a consultation yourself online by taking a look at our calendar and figuring out a time that works for you where I might be available as well. But always call our office if you would like to see what my availability is, and we can try to schedule you today. Actually, if you'd like to give a call today, we can try to get you on my calendar for later this week today. So you can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. If you don't know me, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I am an immigration attorney. I'm based outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia, but my clients are all throughout the United States. We only do U.S. immigration law. So anyone that wants to stay in the U.S. legally or anyone that wants to bring somebody else into the U.S., those are the people that we help. We only help with U.S. immigration law, but we do everything under immigration, like work-based applications, so employment applications. We do humanitarian cases like T visas, U visas, VAWA, our ever popular VAWA, and also, of course, family-based applications as well, where you're bringing spouse or kids or parents, siblings, anything like that as well. So we can certainly answer questions based on any of those areas. So if you have something, don't hesitate to put it into the chat here, and I would love to answer it for you. For right now, I want to start off with a common question that I think will help some of the folks here watching. We are streaming live on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So that's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Our handle is the same on all of the platforms. So our handle is Agarwal Immigration. If you want to be notified when I'm on live again, make sure to like us and follow us on all of our platforms and share this with others that you think would benefit from jumping on, listening to a talk about immigration or asking an immigration question as well. So if you don't already follow us, make sure to follow us and like us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and share this post with others that you think might benefit from hearing from an immigration lawyer. Okay? Great. So let me start off with what relationships can qualify me for VAWA. So which relationships are eligible for a VAWA application? Okay, so VAWA is for someone who has a relationship, and I will go through the qualifying relationships in just a second. They have to live with this person, and there has to be abuse within the relationship. And that abuse can be emotional, psychological, verbal, physical. Any of the types of abuse can count for VAWA-based purposes. So which relationships count for VAWA? So there are many that count. Our most common case type is someone who's married to a U.S. citizen. They are the ones that qualify for VAWA, and they're the ones that come to us more often. But they're not the only relationships that will qualify for a VAWA or a VAWA and green card. So the other types that qualify are children up to 25 years of age that have parents that are U.S. citizens or that have parents that are green card holders. Okay, so children, and remember this, they can be up to 25 years of age in order to be eligible to apply for VAWA. That is more than a normal family-based green card application, right? So if you are at least 20, if you're up to 25, you can qualify for VAWA if you have a U.S. citizen parent or a green card holder parent, and there is some kind of abuse in that relationship, and you've lived with them for a certain period of time, okay? The second relationship that can qualify for a VAWA is our parents of U.S. citizens, right? So remember, I'm saying parents of U.S. citizens, not green card holders. So parents of U.S. citizens can also qualify for a VAWA. This is important because many of us will have children that have entered, you might have entered the U.S. illegally, and your child might be at least 21 or over, but they can't necessarily sponsor you because you didn't have a legal entry. So it can be beneficial to you in the sense that if your relationship has some factors that can qualify as abuse, so that could be your child is rebellious, they might say hurtful things to you, they might get angry with you and threaten you with deportation. Of course, nobody wants to get their child in trouble. Know that VAWA doesn't require a police report. Know that this won't necessarily come back and bite your child, right? Because no matter how your child treats you, most people do not want to hurt their child. So VAWA is a confidential application, but of course everything you tell me has to be truthful and accurate so we can submit a truthful and accurate application. But parents of U.S. citizens can qualify for VAWA. And lastly, which is our most common VAWA case type, at least what we do within our firm, and that is going to be spouses of U.S. citizens or green card holders. They live with them, they got married to them, not just for immigration, it was a real marriage, and there's abuse in the marriage, and the abuse is anywhere from financial abuse to abandonment, neglect, any abuse that takes the form of abandonment, neglect. It could be emotional and psychological abuse. So there's so many different ways you might not even realize. If you're in a marriage that is unhappy, you should talk to us and we can chat with you about eligibility on whether or not you qualify for a VAWA. So why would I apply for a VAWA, right? Why would you apply for a VAWA? If you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or you have any of those other relationships that I talked about, basically if you're a parent of a U.S. citizen, or if you're a child of a green card holder or a U.S. citizen, you might apply for a VAWA because you might be eligible to get a work permit in 6 to 8 months, which would come also with a social security number if you don't already have one. And you would have travel authorization. So if you're here without status, you can't necessarily go outside of the United States, right? Because you would be prevented sometimes from coming back in. So you would receive travel authorization, which might allow you to travel back home, visit your family. Of course, we want to make sure that this is the right thing for you. So don't go doing that unless you've talked to us and we let you know it's okay for you to do. But it can come with travel authorization, which would let you leave the U.S. and return while your application is pending. And also, if you're eligible, most of our clients are, we also apply for a green card along with the VAWA application. So you are looking at work permit, green card, and ultimately U.S. citizenship that might come from VAWA eligibility. Call us if we can help you with VAWA or any other type of immigration application. We would love to chat with you. Take advantage of this opportunity to receive your Social Security card, to receive work authorization, and ultimately a green card, especially if you are in this type of abusive relationship, no matter if it's your parents, your spouse, your children. Know that it doesn't require a police report. Know that you're not harming this person in your family. If you apply for VAWA, it doesn't require you to report them or anything like that, right? You take advantage of a bad situation to perhaps use that to get your work permit, your green card, and independence for yourself. I just talked to somebody today and for a consultation it was a VAWA-based consultation. I don't know if you are watching, but if you are, it really moved me when she said, I want to live with dignity. She said, I want to live with dignity, right? And that is something that VAWA can help you do. And I think that is just, it's huge. It can be life-changing If you are wondering whether or not you're eligible, give us a call and we will schedule a consultation for you. We'll go through your situation and I will let you know whether it makes sense for you to file something like this and how it would be to work with our firm to file a case like VAWA that could ultimately lead to U.S. citizenship. Okay? You can call us for a consultation, 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. We help clients no matter where they are located. They can be anywhere in the U.S. Or abroad. We help them no matter where they are located. Immigration is a federal practice, so it doesn't matter. You don't need to have an attorney in the state that you're located in unless you prefer that, right? But attorneys that are eligible to practice in one U.S. state can practice and represent clients anywhere in the U.S. because immigration is based on federal laws, and we can represent clients no matter where they are. So our firm uses Zoom, we use phone, we have online portals where you can upload documents if you want, or you can of course mail them to our office or come in person. So it's up to you. You don't have to come in person. We represent clients all throughout the United States. So don't hesitate if you think that you might want to work with us, but don't let it be that we're far away as a reason preventing you from taking a stand on your VAWA application. Okay? Call us 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Okay, so AK here on TikTok is asking, VAWA failed pending, how to get advanced parole. I have an asylum pending and removal proceedings. So to receive advanced parole, which is travel authorization, you have to have your court proceedings closed. So if you have a legitimate VAWA application, if you're working with an attorney or if you're doing this on your own, I would suggest working with an attorney. Obviously, just because VAWA can be complicated, especially if you have asylum pending and you're also in court, you have a higher chance of success if you work with an attorney. And you want to do that because you're in removal proceedings if you're in court. Okay? So let's say if you have an attorney that you're working with, you can ask them to reach out to the government attorney, the trial attorney, and see if they will agree to terminate proceedings in court. So they can say they filed a VAWA. If you have a prima facie approval, that means you have a pre-approval of your case, and they can use this to see and let the judge know that they have an approvable VAWA case and we would like to terminate proceedings, and the government attorney has agreed. Once that happens, then you can apply for the rest of your green card process with USCIS. If you apply for travel authorization at that point, it should be approved as well. Okay, but just know, if you have asylum, you cannot go back home. All right, you can't go back home if you are home to your home country if you have a pending asylum case. You don't want any allegation of fraud that you filed a fraudulent asylum application. So you could meet your family perhaps in a third country, but I would suggest that you stay put and don't travel until you have your VAWA and green card approved. All right? Call us if we can help you. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. My name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I help clients with all types of immigration applications all throughout the United States and abroad, so don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are based right outside of Washington, D.C., but we do have clients all over the place, so I would love to meet with you, talk to you about your eligibility for various types of applications, okay? Hi, Sanjay. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to put it into the chat. We have Bamidele, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Barath. Thanks for joining. We're streaming on multiple platforms, including TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And I would suggest, if you want to be notified when I go live, make sure you follow us and you like us. Hi, NM. Nice to see you. Make sure you follow us and like us on our social media platforms, and we can um, and we can notify you. We can notify you when I go live, right? And if you have friends or family that might be interested in immigration, if they want to join us and ask their own questions, make sure to share this post with them as well. Okay. All right. So I have here, if you have an approved VAWA, can your J1 2-year residency requirement be waived without the help of your ex? So J1 does not have anything to do with your ex, right? So Joshua, your J1 application won't have anything to do with your ex. You can apply to have a waiver, your J1 waived without your ex. So if you qualify for a VAWA, nothing is required of your ex. So everything can be done, the whole process, including your green card, can be done without the help of your ex. You certainly don't need them to be able to help with the green card portion of the process. If you want to reach out to us, don't hesitate. You can call us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Lucille says, I have a I-130 marriage-based interview on Wednesday. What should I expect? That's a great question. Okay, so if you have a marriage-based interview, so a lot of times when you are applying with your spouse for a green card based on marriage, you will have an interview as part of, actually you're close to the end of the process, which is exciting. Congratulations, Lucille. So both you and your spouse will go to the interview, and essentially the USCIS officer is trying to figure out if your marriage is real or if it's just for immigration purposes. So go with your spouse. I know you're going to be nervous, but try not to be nervous. My tip is going to be listen to what they're asking for, try to figure out why they're asking it, and then have in your answer the reasons that would help you qualify for this kind of benefit, right? So for example, if they're saying something like, how did you meet, right? So they want to figure out, is your marriage real or not real? How did you meet your spouse? At this point, I would probably want to add a few more details about how I met my spouse. Like, I wouldn't just answer the question of, we met on the internet, right? Then we don't know, is your marriage real or not real? That's what they're trying to figure out if they ask you, for example, how did you meet so-and-so? Instead of saying the internet, I would say, yes, we met on the internet. We had our first date in New York City. We went to a coffee shop, and I thought he was, really interesting, and I really liked X, Y, and Z about him. We had our second date right after we really clicked, blah, blah, blah. So this actually tells the officer, hey, they have all these details, and it doesn't seem like just a transaction. So I think, it sets it up so it looks already like it's a real marriage. It's not just for immigration purposes, right? However, if they're asking you something about an application you filled out previously, let's say you filled something out and you had, you listed so-and-so as your mother, right? And then they might say, if they ask something about that, you want to keep your answer short. You don't want to go into, she's my mother, but actually I didn't live with her very much, and then I was adopted by so-and-so, right? You don't want to go, they're just verifying information at that point. It's not actually helping you in your immigration application. So there's sometimes you want to keep your answer short. Just listen to what they're asking for. You don't want to go off on a tangent because it could, raise some red flags. I'm not saying hide anything, but you want to figure out why are they asking you certain things and figure out how can I highlight the best parts of my applications to set me up for approval. Okay? Give us a call if we can help you with that, with any kind of green card application. We do also help with interview prep as well, so if you want to reach out to us for that, I would love to chat with you. You can schedule a consultation on our Facebook page or on our website, agarwalimmigration.com, or of course call our office at 703-348-1663. Again, that's 703-348-1663. If you don't know me and you're just joining, hi KY, nice to see you. If you're just joining, My name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm based outside of Washington, D.C., and I'm here just answering questions. Okay? All right, and also bringing up some things that come up in our practice and hopefully helping clarify some confusion or helping give more information generally about U.S. immigration. Okay? All right. Okay, so KY is saying, good day. How long do you take to prepare a declaration for your VAWA client? We usually we do our whole application usually in about 3 weeks. So 3 weeks is our time frame from the time you start to the time we file. The declaration is prepared for our firm within the first week, maybe sometimes into the second week, just depending on when you get us documents and when you have a 2-hour block. So sometimes our client prefers to kind of push it back. So on average, within the first 2 weeks, we have the full application drafted and prepared. So we schedule an intake usually within 24 hours. So we schedule our first intake within 24 hours where you get all of the details from the client, and we begin preparing the VAWA, the green card application, the travel authorization, and the work permit application. So we prepare all 4 of those things based on that first intake. At the same time, our client will get a documents list, and you can start preparing and getting the documents to us. So we start doing all of that within the first week. The declaration call is also usually scheduled within 2 days of the first intake. So usually the next day. In most cases, you have your first intake, and then within 48 hours, you have your second intake, which is about 2 hours long. So we get all of the details for the declaration on the second call, and we draft that declaration that week. We actually have 3 levels of review. So we have someone prepare all of the forms, our legal assistant prepare all of the forms and the documents as exhibits. Our paralegal does a declaration intake, and she drafts the declaration. And we have, she also does a full review of the application to make sure that there are no inconsistencies, that all of the documents are complete and clear and organized in the application. She also does a legal argument and a cover letter and checks and makes sure everything looks perfect. So once that's done, it goes to our next level of review, which is our attorney. So we have an associate attorney. We'll check everything, make sure there are no issues with the application. Everything looks good. Everything is as strong as it possibly can be. And then after that, I look at it. So we have 2 levels of attorney review and 1 level of paralegal review before we send it to the client to approve, and then we file it. So the whole thing, we usually can shoot to do it within 3 weeks. 3 weeks, but sometimes it's 4 weeks, just depending on the client getting us documents and getting everything organized. But we move quickly, especially with the VAWA case. We handle a lot of these cases, and we want to get it filed because most times people are not in status, or they have a marriage-based application pending with their spouse, and the spouse is threatening to withdraw and uses that against them. So we want to get that VAWA filed as some form of protection for our client. And also, if they don't have work authorization, they want to get work authorization as soon as possible. So we want to get that filed. So we do have our whole team set up. We all work together on the application, and we want to have multiple levels of review to identify any potential issues before we submit the application as well. Okay? Hope that helps you. If you're considering working with us, of course, reach out to us. You can call us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663 to schedule a consultation, or you can do it online on our website, agarwalimmigration.com, or our Facebook page, Agarwal Immigration. If you have questions, put them in here, and if you have friends that might have questions, share this post with them and follow us. If you don't already follow us and like us on our social media platforms, make sure you do. You can do that on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, or TikTok. Any of those 4 platforms, we are Agarwal Immigration on all the platforms. So follow us, like us if you don't already do so you can be notified when I go live, and you can answer questions, and I can answer your questions when I'm on here as well. Okay? All right, so Bamidele says, my ex and I divorced in 2017, and she's been married. I just got married last year, but realized our divorce decree has a problem. Will this go against me? No, probably not. I don't know what the issue is with the divorce decree, but you can, if there's an error, you can try to fix it, or you can try to explain an inconsistency in your application. So I hope that is helpful, but I'm not sure exactly what you're looking at. Like if the divorce isn't valid and you got remarried, that might be, that could be an issue, but I'm not, there's many things that could be wrong with the divorce decree. So we can certainly help you figure it out. Usually most problems are fixable. So reach out to us and let's brainstorm on what the issue is, and I can give you some thoughts on what to do. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. Of course, everyone here, thanks for joining, but you know that all of the information I'm providing is general, right? Because I don't really know your immigration history. So I'm providing general information about immigration. And if you want to talk specifically about your case so I can get deep into the immigration history, I would love to do that. But make sure, you reach out to us so we can have that confidential consultation. And you can reach out to us by calling us 703-348-1663 or getting on our Facebook page or our website, agarwalimmigration.com, to schedule that consultation. Okay? What happens after a second VAWA prima facie determination review letter? So what happens after a second VAWA prima facie determination review letter? Well, hopefully you will get a VAWA approval, right? You'll get a VAWA approval. So if you've already had your fingerprints done, if you received your work authorization, if you received travel authorization, and you still just don't have a VAWA decision, then you should expect to get a decision, right? You should expect to get a decision soon. So usually it takes about 1.5 years after we apply to get a decision on the VAWA case. So hopefully that is helpful to you, Sunny. Good luck on your VAWA application. It's good news to get that second prima facie determination letter because it just helps. It helps. Okay, NM says, is there a difference between traveling with a marriage-based advanced parole and a VAWA advanced parole? And if you used marriage-based advanced parole before, can you use the VAWA advanced parole now? So your advanced parole is not based on VAWA, or it's not based on your marriage base. So it is based on a pending adjustment of status application. Okay? That is what advanced parole is based on. It's based on a pending green card application for you. So whether it's through VAWA or whether it's through a marriage-based petition, as long as that petition is valid, you can travel on it. I would suggest do not travel until you have a green card, right? Especially if you've been out of status, if you're filing for VAWA. We have had a consultation with someone. I had a consultation with someone a couple months ago where they had traveled on advanced parole through VAWA, and when they came in, they were on their long flight. They came in into the airport, and they were so tired. The flight was so long. They were on a red eye. They were on the plane for the last 20 hours, and they weren't expecting this, but what happened is they started getting questioned on their VAWA application, which is allowed, right? So they get questioned on their VAWA application. They didn't, they were foggy. They didn't have their dates straight. They weren't expecting this. The lawyer wasn't with them. They just didn't, I don't think, they weren't our client. They came in for a consultation. But my sense was that he was being truthful. He's doing the best he could to remember the details of the application, but he also got nervous, and he had been on a flight for so long, hadn't slept properly, and he probably messed up a little bit on the dates. So this was actually used against him in denying the VAWA application. So what I'm telling you is it's not worth taking that risk, right? I've had so many cases where people have filed for VAWA and a green card. They left the U.S., traveled back home, and they came back and didn't have any problem at all, right? They didn't have any problem at all. It was so smooth traveling abroad. But you may have that one chance, guys. You may have that one chance where somebody stops you and you starts asking you questions, and you're not ready for them, and you don't have a lawyer with you. So you may say something that you just didn't mean to say, or you got nervous and you're foggy and you don't know the dates, right? So don't travel. Just don't travel until you have it approved. That's my advice, but it's up to you, right? It's up to you. You technically can travel. I advise you of the risks, and I give you my thoughts, but at the end of the day, it's going to be your decision. So we'll support you no matter what, and we'll help you figure it out no matter what. So give us a call. If you want to work with us, you can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. You can also schedule a consultation online on our Facebook page, Agarwal Immigration, or on our website, agarwalimmigration.com. Okay? All right. I think I answered many of your questions on here. Let me take a look at you guys on TikTok here. I did an I-130 for my wife, and what does she have to do to renew her DACA? Okay, all right, so Elba, I'm hoping that you used, or Elabaras, I'm not sure what your name is, but Elbarbes27. If your wife is doing a DACA, that means likely that she did not have status or that she entered the U.S. illegally, right? So if she entered the U.S. illegally, you may already know this, but you may not qualify for a marriage-based adjustment of status application. You would also need a waiver. So I would, you probably want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And if you're not using a lawyer, you should use a lawyer, because if she doesn't qualify and you're applying for something, it's just, you may be wasting money and you might get denied, right? So if you're using a lawyer, they probably know what they're doing. So that's fine. But if she didn't enter legally, she would need a waiver before you can get your I-130 approved. I hope that is helpful to you. Again, this is general information. It's not confidential because I don't know you or your immigration history, but I'm providing general information about immigration. Okay, if you want to have a confidential consultation, call our office at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Okay. Samuel says, how long does it take for VAWA to be approved? It usually takes about 1.5 years, sometimes 2 years for the VAWA application to be approved. You get benefits, long before. So within 2 to 3 months, you'll get a prima facie approval, which just means, a prima facie determination, which is kind of like a pre-approval of your case. So that means they've looked at it and they're ready to approve it. It looks good. You meet all of the elements for it to be approved. So they want to run background checks. They want to compare it against other things you've submitted before. But it looks good. It's a great thing to get because it might, in some states, allow you to have a driver's license. If you ever are in removal proceedings, you might be able to terminate removal proceedings based on this prima facie determination. So it has so many benefits. So don't look at it as like 2 years down the road. If you apply for VAWA and a green card, if you're eligible, you would get work authorization in about 6 months. Somewhere between 6 months to 8 months, you should expect to see work authorization and travel authorization to let you travel in case of an emergency. Right? So there are many benefits along the way, but VAWA alone takes about 1.5 years to 2 years to get approved. But you do get benefits way before that. So I would take advantage of that, right? Because being uncertain about your status and not having that certainty is really nerve-wracking, and it causes so much anxiety. So if there's any way to help you take care of that, to be more settled, take advantage, talk to us, talk to me about your eligibility to see if you're eligible. We can screen you, tell you about what's strong, what might not be strong in your case, whether it makes sense for you to file, and what you can expect to see if you do file. All right, you can call us for a consultation, 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. And we would love to chat with you more about your VAWA case, or any type of green card application or visa to help you stay in the country or bring other people in the country. All right? Awesome. Okay, let me just flip through. I have a couple more questions. Okay, how do I prove that I got married in good faith for a VAWA application, right? So how do I prove that I got married in good faith for a VAWA application? That is a great question. So good faith marriage is the same whether in VAWA or whether in like a typical marriage-based application. So for VAWA, there's a way to explain away a reason for not having certain documents. So, for example, because VAWA is based on abuse, you may not have a joint bank account because there might be financial abuse used to control you, and it's part of the pattern of abuse, right? You may not be on the lease for the house. You may not have taken trips together, right? You may just not have paid taxes. There's so many different things that could be part of the abuse that's related to a VAWA application. So in terms of good faith marriage, a lot of your own statements about your experience can be the basis for good faith marriage. You do want to show that you live together, in the same location for however long, for some period of time. You do want to show that. And of course, you can do that by your own statements, right? Sometimes we have our clients describe the space where they lived, how many bedrooms there were, what it looked like when you entered, where it was, right? Where did people sleep? So all of these types of things we can use to show that you live together. So in a typical marriage-based application, it's normal to be on the bank account together. It's normal to buy that home together, right? But in VAWA, when there's abuse at issue, and abuse is one of the ways you qualify for this VAWA-based green card, it's okay. It's not the end of the world if you don't have all the documents, because it could be tied to the abuse, and you can explain why you don't have certain documents. You can explain why you weren't on the bank account. You can explain why you're not on the lease, because your spouse might be using this as a way to control you and abuse you. Okay, so give us a call if we can help you with your VAWA application. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. We help clients all throughout the United States. So don't worry about where you are. We can have a consultation by phone or by Zoom or in person. So just let us know how you would prefer that. And we'd love to talk to you more about working together with our firm. Okay? All right. What type of abuse? This is great. What type of abuse can qualify me for VAWA? What type of abuse can qualify me for VAWA? So there is a belief that physical abuse is necessary, but that is not true. We have VAWA approvals. We have so many VAWA approvals based on just emotional abuse, no physical abuse, right? So emotional, psychological, financial abuse. So if your spouse is threatening you with deportation, if your spouse is calling you names, yelling, blaming you for things, this can be abuse necessary for a VAWA, to have a VAWA approval. So if you don't have physical abuse, don't fret. You don't need a police report. But if you're talking truthfully and giving us details about these types of things, these communications in your marriage, you might qualify for VAWA, right? And we have had approvals based on only emotional abuse. So call us if we can help you. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Would love to chat with you about your VAWA case. My name, if you don't know me, is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I help clients all throughout the United States with all types of immigration applications. Okay? Would love to hear from you guys. All right. I think I am going to have to wrap up for this afternoon. Thank you so much, you guys. It was so great to see you. This is kind of a weird time for me. I normally am on in the evening, but I had some time during the day, but it was so nice to see you guys. Thanks for joining me today, and thanks for your questions. I will definitely be on again, so if you don't already follow us and like us, make sure you follow us and like us on our social media, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, so if you don't already subscribe to that, make sure that you do. But follow us and like us on our social media platforms, and hopefully I will see you again on here soon. And of course, it would be awesome if you could share this with others that have immigration questions, that might have immigration applications pending. And we would love for them to get to know us, or to get some information from me here when I'm on live to answer some of their immigration questions. Okay? As always, everything is general here, but if you want to schedule a confidential consultation, don't hesitate to reach out to us at our firm, 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Love to see you guys and chat with you, and I'll be on again very soon. Okay? Thanks so much, guys. Have a great rest of your day and the rest of your week if I don't see you again later this week.